That's a good question. Hey guys, welcome to Sketch Today. I'm Spencer. It's been a while since I've done one of these pre-record videos, and I'm actually excited about the collaboration that I've been asked to be a part of. But before we begin, I want you to hit that subscribe button, turn on alerts. Be sure, because we go live here on Sketch Today weekly, usually a few times. So definitely hit subscribe, turn on those alerts. Come say hi on the socials. I'm at sketchaday.com on Instagram, at Daily Sketches on Twitter, and I'm pretty easy to find on Facebook as well. Facebook.com/Sketchaday. If you'd like to support Sketchaday, a great way to do that is by becoming a patron. You can find out more information at patreon.com/Sketchaday. Alright, I got this weird message from this dude on Instagram. Just kidding. I got asked to be a part of a little Q&A here on the channel, and we're doing this on a few other channels as well. All that information will be below in the video description. All right, let's kick things off with our first question here. I'm using my phone as a cheat sheet, guys, just so you know. I'm not texting anyone or any weird stuff like that. Okay, industrial design is an uncommon field, fairly uncommon field. How did you discover it? Industrial design for me, I feel like a lot of people just happen on industrial design, and it's kind of a weird thing. So for me, industrial design came about because one of my friends was studying industrial design, and me being curious about what he was studying at the time, and it's actually a friend I ended up working with professionally later. He showed me the what do you call it, the studio that he was working in on campus, as well as a bit of the website and some of what they were doing. I went to Brigham Young University in Utah, in the United States here. So I saw that and the lights kind of went off in my head, because as a child I was often very curious. I would be taking things apart and just being creative. Plus I had a little bit of that artistic side. My father was someone who was engineering, business minded, but also artistic. So you might say that that influence had a profound and significant impact on my life growing up. All right, number 2, how do you explain your job to those who don't know about ID? Well, as you know, industrial designers design factories, right? No, I'm just kidding. I like to explain what I do, at least in a traditional sense. Nowadays, I fancy myself more of a creative or creator, because I do a lot of things. I do furniture, I teach, I do graphics, UI, illustrations, a lot of creative things. But traditional industrial design, I typically explain that I'm a lot like an architect for products. So someone who understands how things work and how to make them look good. Okay, this is question number 3, by the way, 3. What inspirations have developed your ID style? I think for me, I wouldn't say I could pinpoint specific things so much as I tend to skew toward what I consider, at least right now, my aesthetics changed over the years, and I don't feel that it's necessarily for me to have a specific aesthetic. However, right now I'm into funky and chunky, so things that have a beefy, chunky appearance, that are pure in their geometry, and where their functional intent is clearly apparent. So you might say that I tend to fall within a classical ID aesthetic and try to stay on trend, but at the same time, I certainly believe that I was influenced by a lot of things I saw growing up, experienced, and so that's why it's kind of hard for me to pinpoint specifically, like, hey, this designer or this time period or whatever has influenced me, as I try to just incorporate a lot of different things, and certainly from my personal experiences and tastes. Okay, question number 4. Which company would you love to design a product for? Maybe a cliche answer here, but I would love to design some stuff for the guys at Sony. Just kidding. I'd like to design some stuff for Apple, of course. I think as an industrial designer, they've been able to take, I guess you could say, design as a core part of their company and maintain that that principled approach to product development that respects the design process. As far as my understanding goes, I don't know any designers personally on the team, at least on the ID team, but I've encountered and met a few people who work there, and they talk about the design culture, and to me that's not a typical experience that you get to have. So maybe it's so much not designing something for them as it would be experiencing that culture. You know, what's it like for, you may have heard this phrase, designed to have a seat at the table. Well, they're certainly at the head of the table at Apple. Things are interesting there, culturally speaking. Another company I'd love to design something for, well, two actually. One would be Lego. That would be an awesome company to work for, I think. I love Legos. As a child, I love them. Even as a parent now, I love them. I think they're just a fantastic set of toys and tools. I would also love to design something for Disney. I think that would be incredible to be on the Imagineer team, where you're designing magic quite literally for people. I love the phrase from the movie Thor, and whether it's real or not or attributable, but the idea that magic and technology are essentially the same. It's just that for magic, that technology is hidden. And I think Disney is just so amazing at doing that, creating these robust experiences that take you to another place or transport you to another dimension or whatever the case may be. All right, question number 5. What is your go-to industrial design program and why? Right now, my go-to ID program is no program. I much prefer drawing on paper where possible and keeping my thoughts as free and open as possible. But when I do have to use a program, right now, the one I couldn't live without, based on what I'm doing, would probably have to be Fusion 360. And that's because an important part of what I do as an industrial designer is taking my ideas from paper to reality. So Fusion 360, and no, they're not sponsoring this video. I could name a few other CAD programs as well. But the ability to quickly sketch, CAD something up here at home, throw it to my 3D printer. I'm learning CAM as well, which is computer aided manufacturing, so that I can operate my router, my wood CNC router I have in my garage. So right now that's kind of my go-to. I tend to have a pretty scrappy, quick workflow when it comes to designing and prototyping my own things, and I would be remiss to not have that in my life right now. Okay, what do you dislike most about industrial design? That's a weird question. Shouldn't it be what do I love the most about industrial design? I would say adjacent to industrial design. Well, I'll give you two answers. The first would be I don't always like building things for other people, which sounds crazy, maybe. But in a corporate setting, which is where I was working more recently, the process isn't entirely within your control. And I think in school, sometimes you are exposed to this idea of ownership of a project, and it can be frustrating when you have to let that go. So I try to achieve some balance in my life by doing my own personal projects, but there are times where I wished I had ultimate creative control over the outcome of something that was a classical industrial design project that was being run in a company or even for a consultancy. The other thing I don't like about industrial design, at least right now, which maybe sounds hypocritical because here I am making this video, is I guess our dependence on social media. I think it's somewhat problematic for our craft, and as much as social media, this is my social media sign, as much as social media distorts things, I think we have painted ourselves into a weird spot where perception is not necessarily reality. So that's one of my things I don't like about it right now. But as far as the craft goes, I think having that creative control would be awesome. And when you don't have it, it can be frustrating. All right, number 7. What makes an industrial design good? I thought the question at first was, what makes industrial design good? But what makes an industrial design good? I think a few things for me that I love about a good design is that, for lack of a better word, it's intuitive. It's simple, it's satisfying, and it's expressive in some way. And what I mean is, when you're able to pick up an object and understand how to use it without having to break down and go through an entire manual, I think that's a beautiful thing. Some of my favorite products that I use are Festool power tools. They're a German power tool company. And one of the things I love about the designs, they are robust, they're reliable. The use and treatment of color on the products is specifically purposeful and meant to indicate what is adjustable on the product. And when you're woodworking, when you're building furniture like I like to do, time is important, and being able to see where to manipulate and interact with the object is just awesome. I love that. And I love the simple appearance of it. It's not the type of product that screams for attention. It does what it does it reliably, it does it well, and it tells you how to use it. So I think those things are powerful elements of a good industrial design. I think restraint is something that is therefore manifest in those final products, where the designer has an engineering team or a business team, whoever it is that's working on that product, exercised enough restraint to not put everything possible into the product. And I think when designs feel purposeful, the usability of that design is excellent. The aesthetic appearance of that design is focused, and the interaction that you get from that product or design is also purposeful, well thought out, and like I said, intuitive. So that's what I think makes a really good industrial design. All right, guys, I'm gonna go back, finish up my nap. Thank you for watching, and I hope you enjoyed the answers to those questions. Thank you for being here and being a part of the channel. I want you to hit subscribe, check out the other videos as well. Turn on alerts to my channel, not theirs. Just kidding. Check them out if you like them. Hit subscribe and turn on alerts. Come say hi on the socials. I'm at sketchaday.com, and we go live. Right now it's summer. We go live daily here on sketchaday.com, so you don't want to miss that. You can also become a supporter at patreon.com/sketchaday. And much love to you all. And I hope you have a fantastic time here on Sketchaday and checking out those other videos. Peace and love to you. Take care.